Hi. All the leaves are falling and it's very pretty. But it just took me so long to set up, and you know what leaves falling look like, so just imagine it over there. Thank you. We're getting ready and I'm going to do a Q&A because I've had quite a few questions lately, and then so I did a direct post asking if anyone had any questions, and there were so many, so thank you so much. Just going to put my contact lenses in first so I can see you while I do this. Look away if you don't like this because it is gross. So the first question is always very lovely, asking how I am, and that's a really relevant question right now. I'm so good. Not to brag, but I've had some ups and downs, and especially if you watch a few vlogs back, which was actually so long ago in my life because I'm so inconsistent at this, but I was not doing very well, and it's very clear in the videos, I think. And I'm actually doing alright. I only really noticed the other day that surprisingly everything's alright, and I think the interesting thing about that is that that doesn't mean I'm like successful as such. Like the happiness is purely coming from, I don't know, like this new like lifestyle, which is crazy. Should I zoom in? I look like that person with the hoodie behind their ears. Like, I'm going to be real with you, and I'm very transparent about all the money stuff, which is another question, so I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, I'm not like doing incredibly well or like earning ridiculous amounts or anything, and I'm not really, if you were in my position, you would potentially be stressed and miserable, but I'm just not. I'm just having the time of my life. I'm just vibing. Like today, for example, I've got a few jobs to film, which I'm going to do after this. This is part of my job, which seems silly, but it really is. Plus, I'd love all the makeup stuff, so any jobs I can get as a result of this would be wonderful. And then after that, I'm going helping a friend record some music, because I've actually got a music degree, and then going out with some friends, and I'm just really very excited. And I'm keeping things on the cheaper side at the moment because I'm not like I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm newer to this part of the industry. I did dabble in it a few years ago. Pretty much it's kind of new to me, or at least having it as having like my livelihood kind of like depend on it. But it's just like, I can't explain to you how much better I'm feeling doing this and figuring things out. I would so much rather be struggling to get by than be doing a job that I don't enjoy. And I know not everyone has that luxury at all. And I know some people are doing both, and they're struggling to get by with a job that they don't enjoy. I don't want it to come across just because I'm like someone online. Yeah, I think that's like a common misconception that a lot of people online have money, and I'm not one of those. So relatable. That's me. By the way, that was the e.l.f. Halo Halo Glow liquid filter, which is kind of like a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury. It was in Superdrug. That felt a little bit shallow, that talking about my products after complaining about money. But I bought that because someone recommended it to me on here, so thank you for that. I'm going to get into the good stuff a little bit quicker. I'm going to talk about money now. How much do you really think we can make from UGC in the UK? Which is a fantastic question, and I've kind of talked about this a bit. Maybe I didn't actually upload the video. There's a lot of people online talking about UGC from America, and they are earning like stupid amounts, like talking about like £10,000 months. And I'm not saying that that's not like ever going to happen for you. I'm not trying to be like negative. I'm not trying to be negative whatsoever. But don't be looking at that and in your first month of UGC thinking, oh, I can do that. I wouldn't even, to be honest. I don't mean to be so negative. I'm really just trying to be realistic. I wouldn't even see that as a goal forever. Know that it is a possibility, but right now UGC is not as big in the UK or even necessarily in Europe as it is in America, which is why they are making ridiculous amounts of money, which is why you just can't compare. And it is frustrating. It really, really is. Like, for me right now, I just need £2,000 a month to live pretty comfortably, to be honest. That would allow me to save some money, pay for all my mortgage and bills, and not be like worrying as much, which compared to this 10,000 that people are getting is not a dramatic amount of money. And in a nice way, that kind of feels realistic because I'm not asking for these crazy numbers. I just want to do this as a job because I genuinely love it, and I don't want to go back to anything else. And I'm really getting there with it, with the stability side of that. I've been lucky to get some retainers lately, which is way better than individual jobs. Individual jobs are so good and I appreciate every opportunity I get, but these retainers mean that I can be kind of guaranteed a little bit, even if it's just for a short term. It's nice knowing. I had one job the other day, and this kind of still ongoing, that covered my all my bills and expenses for the month with a little bit left over, and that is like, I hadn't had that in a very, very long time. Because when I left my other job, I left with savings to help me get through. I left with some savings, so I was able to rely on that for a few months, which I know not everyone has the luxury of. But yeah, when I left, I didn't just kind of like quit and with no money behind me, because I knew that this is, and I still know now, it's a slow job. And it's funny, I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and he was kind of saying like, it's interesting with when you kind of have that mindset of not wanting your typical 9 to 5, which there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. It really is a life for some people, but it's just not for me. Like, I can't stress enough how it's not for me. If someone in in like a regular kind of job said like, oh, I want to go and be like a teacher or something, there's no doubt that that's going to happen. Like they're just fully supportive, which is great for them, but like that's not reflected in a lot of these like creative things, and it's just crazy. Like, why would you not support the people around you? I don't understand it. Like, these things are so realistic in this day and age. Like, going for more of the freelance route. I'm absolutely glowing. Am I glowing too much? I think maybe a little bit. I don't think anything in this job is unrealistic anymore, other than, I know I'm just saying about the 10,000. My point more with that was like, I'm sure it is possible, and I'm sure there are people in the UK doing that, but it's just not as standard as in the US. And also bear in mind that this is another one of those internet kind of, it's quite trendy at the moment, which means you will get people, unfortunately, taking advantage of newer creators and sharing information like that, talking about these ridiculous amount of months, in order to sell you some sort of like guide on how to reach a 10k month, when they're probably not on 10k themselves, or they're on 10k because they're making money out of you. And that's, I mean, it's business at the end of the day, isn't it? But I just want you to be wary of the people online, but have high hopes as well. Don't like, and what I'm trying to say, I sound really negative, but your goals could be closer than you think, I think, is more what I'm on about. Like for me, I would like to be, realistically, in an absolute dream world, which it doesn't even feel real to even think about, but 5k would be crazy, and that would be me. Like, I would never be looking for more than that a month. That is a stupid number to me, and all I want is, but my current goal is 2,000, which it feels really attainable, and I've done quite a bit actually up to now, so if I can just keep that and keep it being sustainable, that'd be really nice. Oh my god, I talk so much about that, but I think it's an interesting topic. I think I love all the money kind of stuff, and I think it's important that people do share this kind of stuff online. So, and it's actually really nice. So I get a lot, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for this kind of work. You get, they are absolutely ridiculous. You get some people in them offer you jobs for, like, it made it out like it's this massive, like, amazing paid experience, and it was $10 for 3 hours of work, which is ridiculous. That's not even minimum wage or anything. And there's so many people in the comments, I think, who are trying to build up their portfolio, which I understand, but you can do that without these jobs. Like, you can build up your portfolio with stuff around the house. You don't need to be, I don't know, it's free either way, but I think it can be really damaging, and it's not your fault if you've done this, because I think I've done it too, but it can be damaging to the industry, because then these brands think, oh well, we can get pretty good quality work for less, so there's no point in paying the bigger creators, and then none of us will ever get any money. So it's a difficult one, because like, especially when you start out, you do just want to take every opportunity, and plus when things are free. So unless I really want it, I've started being more resilient, but it's difficult. Like, what's the best part and what's the worst part about being a UGC creator? Thank you so much. Best part, as briefly mentioned earlier, the flexibility. Nothing will beat this feeling of freedom. I've been a freelancer before, but this feels different. I think it's because there's a lot of work involved, like, don't get me wrong, outreach and like email related things and everything like that. Like, there's big things like that. I guess you could almost say it's like an ROI, like the return on, which would be investment, but the investment that you give, like your time, is so good. Like, if you consider the amount that we charge for videos, the time that takes, even including the editing and stuff, like it's way more than like an hourly rate would be. That's just amazing. And I'm not saying it works out like that all the time, but I really value my free time. Or more, I value the ability to spend my time as I wish, but whether that's on, like, if I wanted to spend the whole day working on my portfolio, I could. And I feel very lucky to have that ability. Some people are just not built for a 9 to 5, and I am truly one of them. I've had 9 to 5, I've had stupid hours, which have been more like 7 to 8 at night. Like, I've had everything, and it is so not for me. Like, it is for some people. Like, one of my closest friends has a 9 to 5, and it suits her so well. Like, her life is like so organised. She can afford all the things she wants, and like it really works for her, but it does not work for me. And I have another friend who's kind of in a similar boat. Recently quit their 9 to 5, and it just, because like it just isn't right for some people, and I think that's completely fine. Like, we've all been, I think, growing up kind of brainwashed into like, this is the next step. Like, you've got to get this kind of job, even if you don't like it. It's just the way the world works. Like, you just got to grow up and sort of thing. And I just don't have time for that. Like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I don't want to do that, and so I'm not doing that. And I think it's kind of a newer and exciting thing that we, as like, I guess a generation, are starting to rebel a little bit more. Or not necessarily rebel, because I think it's probably the wrong word, but like, stand up for yourself. Like, if you don't want to do something, you don't do something these days, and I love that. I am all for that. The reason I quit freelance originally was because I wanted a house, and I couldn't do that I needed to have earned a certain amount and have had like a certain number of tax returns, and it just felt so far away from reaching those goals. So it was so much easier to just get a job, which sounds like a privileged thing to say, but in that scenario, that was the better option. And the stability is what I wanted, and I also wanted to be able to take time off. That did not happen anyway. But what are we on about? I'm so bad. I get so distracted. Oh, stability. Yeah. That's the worst bit, not knowing exactly when your like next paycheck's going to be, or that is kind of stressful. I think especially when you've got like a mortgage and stuff to pay for. I just don't care. I don't know where this has come from. This crazy free-spiritedness that I am experiencing. Like, I just really do believe that it'll figure itself out. And I know that's stupid, and I can't explain. I have never been like this. I didn't think this for a very long time, by the way. This is a very recent discovery in my mind. I don't find jobs. Yeah, it changes on a regular basis, to be honest. I'm really not liking my makeup today. Don't know what to do. I get jobs from a combination of places. It used to be things like, so I find Facebook groups really helpful. If you just join, there's loads of like UGC creator Facebook groups. Some of them are a bit scammy, as I was kind of mentioning earlier. There's some where it's like, 3 hours of work for $10, but there's some that are genuinely good. Check out things like UGC Shop, any of like the proper UGC, like kind of agency things. They do tend to pay slightly less than if you get involved with the brand, but everything's kind of like handled for you. You don't really do any of the communications and stuff, so there are benefits to it like that. Pitching to brands, I hadn't had much success with it originally, but that's kind of working for me now. But I think it might be partly to do with the fact I'm more established online. I'm not like a crazy, crazy followers or anything, but I think having an online platform, so for me it's TikTok, which, as well as having a portfolio, it also acts as a portfolio for me. I do actually think since I've been sharing more there, I think that's really helped. And there's so many supportive people over there. Like, that community is the best community I've ever been a part of. I swear, everyone on there is so amazing, and everyone's just so supportive, and I just love it. And then I was using, and I still want to use it again, but I don't have to pay for it. There's a thing called Backstage, which is really good, and I had some jobs from it, and in theory, like, the jobs I've had from it pay off. It's not that expensive, but so like the jobs would pay off the subscription that I'm paying for. But I'm just being stingy, honestly. But that's been good. It's actually like a casting platform for actors. But this is a lot of acting. Like, I do so much script work these days. Check like things like Indeed and stuff, Upwork. I don't rate Fiverr. I think maybe it could be good if you were starting out and you weren't dependent on this as an income right this second. From what I've seen, people charge really, really low on there, but I think that's the nature of the platform. Like, the point is you can get freelance services at a pretty good deal. But I've seen people who have had just like thousands and thousands of jobs on there, so I guess the income would add up, and it wouldn't be any different really from like a regular job. Your portfolio is so important. Yeah, I have a video, which I'll link up here, with like a free portfolio template, which I think is good enough to get you going, to be honest. But yeah, and if you're like, well, I don't have anything to add to the portfolio, just film with stuff around your house. I had to do like a trial thing for someone once, but careful with that as well, don't be doing stuff for free. Scripted about toothpaste, and I still have that in my portfolio now actually. And like, yeah, literally just grab stuff around your house and do like scripted stuff. Start pitching to brands, even pitch to your favourite brands. I know it sounds vicious, but you can find good templates online to get you started. But yeah, I'll go into different sites, I'll have a look at what other creators from the same area as you, so any UK creators if you're from the UK, see who they're working with, pitch to them, and hope for the best. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think you've got this, and I think we're all going to absolutely smash it. I might be immensely delusional, but I'm feeling very good about this for all of us. So thank you for watching. I'll try and be less all over the place next time, but yeah, overwhelmed. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.